So when you've finished your assessment, it's important to come up with a management plan and work with the young person. And when it's appropriate, maybe their parents or carers as well. And that's a really important part of shared decision making.
Developing a responsive management plan.
It's good to quickly summarise the points that you've covered in the conversation and then to have some sort of action or plan following.
Because you're actively engaging with the young person in helping them identify what they want to work on, helping them make decisions about what's going to work for them, then they're actually an active partner in their management plan, and that means that they're more likely to stick to it.
What other things could you do to help yourself feel better?
I used to go for runs.
Yeah.
I have been thinking about doing that again because it did relieve my stress. I haven't since everything that has been happening, so that maybe be something I could start again.
Great idea.
Okay.
So if a young person says, no, look, I'm really not worried about this, and yet it's something that I feel a little bit concerned about, then what I do is give them some information, because perhaps they're not really fully aware of some of the consequences of certain health risk behaviours. So I own those concerns. I might say to a young person, these are the things I'm worried about, X, Y, Z.
Well, I've got a few worries about some of the things you told me earlier about drinking. I was wondering if we could talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. And I know you said at the moment you're not really thinking about making any changes, but I was just wondering if I could leave you a few things to have a look over and I can come back tomorrow and we can talk a little bit more about it.
Yeah, sure.
Now that I need to accept that might not be the same as their concerns, but I can point out to them the facts around the health risks associated with certain behaviours, or if they don't comply with certain treatment, just point that out to them without judging them. And then it's up to them to take that forward. And sometimes motivational interviewing techniques can be really useful in that situation.
I think the best thing for me personally was actually letting me figure it out for myself. You're giving me that option to say, right, this is what you can do, these are the consequences. If you want to take it, just be aware of them, you know? And I can sit there and go, you know what, at the end of the day I can go home and go, right, if I want to do that, am I ready to face that consequence?
So when I'm talking to a young person about a management plan, it's about, well, what do they want to do about this? What are the things that are important or priorities for them? And then we look at what the supports are or what resources are out there that we need to take this forward.
I explore support options with a young person by actually asking them how they want help to be given to them, or what ideas do they have to help themselves. Having said that, it's not completely free form, and if they're struggling, then I have a structure in my head about easy tips and things, and I suggest that as an option for them, and then I ask how they could incorporate it into their lives. I think that you're not taking that medicine regularly is part of the reason why you've been feeling so low lately. So that really concerns me.
Okay.
And I think that you can do a lot to feel better for yourself if you start taking this medicine regularly and every day. What do you think?
I've been slack.
Yeah.
I haven't taken it as much as I should.
Look, so many things get in the way, and it's not your fault or anybody's fault at all. It's just life, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what happens, tell me more about how you take it. When do you do it?
I'm supposed to take it in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And is it chaos in the morning?
Yeah, it is, because I wake up late and then I have to catch the bus.
Okay.
So there are probably going to be some times when you're really not sure what to do. If my concern's about engagement, then I will check with the young person, ask them if they'd like to come back and see me again, and just state what my concerns are. If it's about perhaps a legal or an ethical issue, and I'm really not sure about that, then I think it's important to talk to a more senior colleague or a couple of peers and just get some advice.
You can actually work with the young people, model some of that health-seeking behaviour. If you've got a computer nearby, you might be, okay, I'm just going to have a look at, some mental health services that might be appropriate for you. Do you want to come and hop on Google and have a look and see if we can find it?
Sometimes you can't give a young person an answer straight away. So I think you're honest and upfront and say, I really can't tell you that because I don't know, but I do know how to find out.
One of the other staff members here actually has a lot of experience in that area. I might go and have a chat to her and come back with some information. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, it should be fine.
Okay, great.
When I'm wrapping up with the young person, it's really important to talk to the young person before bringing the parent into the room. Okay, Sarah, well, thank you very much for talking to me and sharing everything with me. We're going to wrap up now, and I'm going to invite Mum to come into the room so that we can discuss anything that, you'd like me to. The two things that stood out for me that I would like to talk about with Mum, one is the bullying that's been happening at school. I'm a bit worried that that's affecting how you're feeling and making you pretty sad. And I'd like to do something about that before it gets any worse. And I just think that maybe we should let Mum know about that. And the other, of course, is around your relationship. Are you comfortable with us talking to Mum about either of those things?
About the bullying, she doesn't know about my boyfriend yet, so...
Oh, okay, so you'd prefer that we don't mention that?
Yeah, not yet.
Okay, well, look, that's fine. I can keep that confidential, no problem. But we will talk to her about the bullying and let her know that it's kind of upsetting you. Okay. So I check out with them, well, what do they want me to not share with their parents? What can I share with their parents? I don't disclose anything. The young person has explicitly said they didn't want me to, within, of course, the limits around confidentiality. So, Robin, I just wanted to bring you back in now so that we could wrap up. It's really important to document your HEEADSSS conversation, and that's so that you can continue the conversation next time, or just to have it there as a baseline source of information and so that you can track progress or change over time.
I think for every clinician, sometimes they feel they've missed an opportunity, that things were left unsaid, they didn't really get to the bottom of what the young person was needing them to ask. I think it's okay to say that and to ask if they'd like another opportunity to talk or an opportunity to talk to somebody else. I think it's important to trust your gut feelings too.
There are times occasionally when I think, oh, I really missed an opportunity here. And usually that's when I've failed to engage that young person. It can happen sometimes with really young adolescents, just who are a little bit more immature, less experienced at talking. But it can also be with the really vulnerable or disenfranchised young people who have a lot of trouble with trust anyway.
After all of my clients, with it, between the first time I've seen them and the next appointment, I'll always go through my mind and go, okay, was there areas that were brought up in the HEEADSSS assessment that maybe I didn't cover so well, or maybe strengths that I didn't identify as I'm writing the clinical notes? I'll be like, oh, I really didn't see that.
It's nice to reflect on the ones that go well. What was it about that one that went so well? Was it the way I started it? Was it that I did kind of reinforce the privacy and they appreciated that?
And I think that process of self-reflection in clinical practice is always important and really good then to build your skills to keep on having really good HEEADSSS conversations with young people.